are struggling to survive. And so my thoughts and prayers as county judge go with those families. Today at Commissioner's Court, we were able to announce federal CARES Act funds that have been received by Williamson County. The dollar amount is just north of $93 million. And I would like to tell you a little bit about how that came about. And I certainly want to recognize those that have helped us. Early on, Senator John Cornyn and his senior staff communicated with us that as a county with a population of above 500,000 people, we could file directly for CARES Act funds instead of being reimbursed. In the past, Williamson County, as well as the smaller counties that are around us, the way you get federal reimbursement is through submitting paperwork and waiting on sometimes a really long time to get reimbursed for that. And they reimburse at a rate of 75%. And then the county would bear the 25%. What's exciting about the federal CARES Act funds, guys, it's a lot of money. And it's considerably more than the county has spent in this emergency. But what's impressive about the CARES Act funds, and we're still working through it logistically to understand that, but what's important to understand is that the county will be able to use those funds to assist other groups, organizations, and perhaps even local businesses. For example, one provision in the CARES Act funds for the county is we can reimburse anyone that is providing meals to our most precious population, for example, Meals on Wheels. So you're going to see the county work to reach out to the different groups and organizations and help them as we can. We did call a special session of Commissioner's Court for this Friday, and I believe it is the intention of the court that we would, as soon as practicable, provide money to local businesses here in Williamson County. We're going to vote on those policies and procedures on Friday. But the reality is we have the money in our checking account, and that money does not help our people unless we can get it out to them. Now, as a Republican and a fiscal conservative, that's a lot of money. And you and I both know that it will be upon, I guess, my kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids to pay that off. But the opportunity to help our local businesses is really important to me as county judge. And I would say our Commissioner's Court today was unanimous in that. It's really important for you to understand, though, that if it wasn't for Senator Cornyn and if it wasn't for my Congressman John Carter, we would have never got these funds. And so I personally want to say thank you to Congressman Carter and his staff and Senator Cornyn and his staff for helping us. We've never been down this road before, and they were incredibly gracious and kind. And in fact, Senator Cornyn and Congressman Carter, their staffs have been working very closely with us for the last many days. Today on the board is the 88th day since I first had a conversation about COVID-19, and it's been long. But the partnership at the federal and the state level has been really amazing. And I also want to say this too. I think Williamson County is in the best position to make decisions about how to use the money locally. I don't think those decisions are best made in Washington. I think they're best made here in Williamson County. And I deeply appreciate our U.S. Congressman John Carter and U.S. Senator John Cornyn for seeing that. And so I certainly want to say thank you to them. The amount of money was based upon population. And being a county, by the way, you wonder, does the census ever make a difference? And the answer is for Williamson County, the census in 2010 made all of the difference during this disaster. So really grateful for those funds. And we have a team at court, Commissioner's Court, that will be led by our treasurer, Scott Hesselmeyer, who's leading this task force to help us discover how we can best get those funds out. I'm also really excited to announce today some testing centers that will be available starting as soon as this Thursday here in Williamson County. One of the testing locations will be made available here locally and operated by Williamson County and Williamson County and Cities Health District. And we're really fortunate to be able to get that up and running. But as well today at Commissioner's Court, we signed an agreement with a private company that is offered to provide testing for Williamson County at 3 or 4 different locations. And they've offered to do that free of charge. We would provide them the testing kits and then the PPEs for that. So I hope by Friday, or let's say Monday at the latest, that we could have as many as 4 different testing sites here in Williamson County. And we're really, really grateful for that. Our IT department has worked really hard in creating an online tool to be used for these assessments, and those locations are going to remain confidential, but if you get onto that site and go through the screening and they believe that you need to be tested, then they'll give you the time and the location of where to report to. As you know, the health department is currently investigating a cluster of individuals at a nursing home in Round Rock. And the numbers that I have here today is that there were 50 individuals within that nursing home, some of them being employees and some of them being residents that have tested positive for COVID-19. And the nursing facility, along with Williamson County and our health district, we're working really hard to support them. And I just want to be unequivocally clear. The most precious resource we have in Williamson County is our most vulnerable resource. It's our senior adults. And we will use any and all tools necessary and lawful to help our seniors when there's a problem. And we're working really hard to protect the lives of the individuals that are there. And in fact, we took the extraordinary step of testing every single resident and employee. And during the middle of the night, had those tests transported to our testing facility up in Denton, Texas. So that is a bit of an update of where we're at. Connie, did I miss anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay, good. So I think I have a few minutes for questions, and I apologize for being a little quick, but there are some urgent matters that we're dealing with here at the ESOC. Connie, are they going to ask questions out loud, or are they going to?
No, we're just going to, I'm going to ask them to type them in. So we'll see if they have questions right now. Is there a second nursing home cluster being investigated?
There is a second nursing home that is currently being investigated, and the health district did an amazing job with the first facility and with this facility as well. If there's a problem, we will respond appropriately. Our senior adults, again, are our most precious resource, and we will use the reasonable means necessary to protect them. I would also say as well, too, that our number one goal as a county, and I shared that with you a few weeks ago, was to protect our nursing homes. And we, through the leadership of Dr. Palazzo at the Health District, she issued and we delivered some medical directives very early on. And that was really to kind of lock down and secure those facilities and make sure that they were using best practices. And so we took some really aggressive steps early on to protect this vulnerable population, and we're going to work really hard to keep them safe. I do want to say something that I think is important. The health district set up a team made up of some folks that went and was out checking on nursing homes. And the response team, actually one of our Williamson County paramedics who serves as the lead on that team, she was really the first one to discover that there might be a problem in Round Rock. And I have to tell you that I'm heartbroken at the number of folks that are ill. But I am grateful that a paramedic saw something and she said something. And it created an immediate response to protect lives. And even today, we have teams that are going to our nursing home and senior adult living facilities, making sure that they have all of the resources they need and asking probative questions. So I'm really grateful to that paramedic. Someday we'll recognize her, and she's just a hero.
Judge, how many tests does the county have stockpiled, and how many tests has the county conducted?
So I did see an email from our head executive director, and countywide there have been 3,800 tests, which would be public and private tests. The county currently is in possession of about 2,000 tests, but today at Commissioner's Court, we voted to purchase, I believe, another 3,500. And so I think we stand at about 5,500 tests currently, and those testing sites that will open tomorrow will be using those test kits. So we're moving swiftly to test folks.
Okay, do you have any more information on the second nursing home?
I do. Our health district is working tirelessly to protect our senior adults, and we're going to allow them to do their job to protect the individuals that are there so we can take the appropriate steps.
Okay, regarding the new rules for business opening, how does the county plan to handle enforcement of these new rules?
Well, let me say what's been amazing in Williamson County. We've not arrested anyone and we've not fined anyone. Williamson County's really complied really well. And my suspicion is that with the new rules, the county's going to continue to comply. And I'd like to give, if I could, a shout out to one community. One of the communities that I was worried about early on, and I'm still concerned about today, is our Sun City community. It has over 15,000 adults that live there, and early on, their homeowners association made the decision to shut down all of their clubs and pickleball and golf and several different things. And through my stay home, stay safe order, I actually wrote in there that the golf courses must remain closed. And daily we were evaluating those decisions. But here's the reality in Sun City with a population of 15,000 people. They're the smartest adults I know. And what we had is one confirmed positive case in Sun City that is already completely recovered. So this past Friday, I sent a letter to the Homeowners Association releasing back to them the authority to open and operate their golf course. And my point in the story very simply is this. We have really compliant folks. And look, we all want to get our businesses back opened, but we're still in the middle of an emergency, and we have to protect lives.
Okay, so with the new testing capabilities, how many tests will Williamson County be able to do per week?
That is a great question. Our goal in totality is 6,000 tests, and I'm unsure at how long it will take us to get to that, but I'm really grateful that we're moving in that direction.
Okay. And then will you be comfortable going out to restaurants, retails, or movie theaters when they reopen on Friday?
Our businesses need to thrive, and it's going to take all of us some time to feel a level of comfort. I have to admit to you that when I leave emergency management, I wear my mask everywhere that I go. And even though we haven't mandated that in Williamson County, I would just strongly urge folks to, if they have it, to wear a mask. It's good for you and it's good to protect others. I I think I'm going to be cautious. I want to patronize and support our local businesses, but I think like most Texans, we're going to support, but we're going to kind of tip our toe in the water in that effort. And so I have been supporting local businesses because we've been, I had a pizza today to go from a business down on the courthouse square. So we've done that. I just think I will be cautious when I go and sit in some place. I've seen the worst side of this, and I think I'd be cautious.
Okay.
You've been listening to a news conference with Williamson County Judge Bill Gravel. He has been updating us on the county's response to COVID-19. Today, he said that Williamson County has secured funding through the CARES Act. That's that $2 trillion act that Congress recently passed addressing COVID-19. He also said today that more testing centers are going to be available within Williamson County, that this Thursday, one that will be run by the county, is opening. But he also said that just this morning, commissioners signed an agreement with a private company that will do testing at 3 to 4 locations free of charge to the public. The county is going to provide those tests and personal protective equipment to the staffing at that testing center. Now, the IT department for the county is building a screening website, so people will not be able to just go to these testing centers. Instead, they will have to fill out information on that website, and if they are approved for a test, they will get the time and location of where to go. In fact, he said the location of these testing centers is not going to be public. The other thing that the judge talked about today is that the health department is investigating a cluster of sick people at a nursing home in Round Rock. He said that 50 people at that nursing home, a combination of residents and employees, have tested positive for COVID-19. And he also says a second cluster is being investigated in the county. And so when we take a look at overall the situation in Williamson County, they have recently seen a spike in cases. So right now, there are 287 cases within the county, and the judge just said moments ago that an 8th person has died from the virus in Williamson County. So again, the situation there is still very fluid. He says it's really going to be up to local officials to really have a say in how things are progressing and reopening in Williamson County. We're going to have much more on this news conference for you tonight on KVUE News at 5 and 6. We're now going to return you to your regular programming that is already in progress.